Doug would be a good person to ask our genius question too. We were discussing a couple days ago on our other show, like what a genius is, what our versions of a genius is. Could a genius be? Could it be just this one little avenue that a person has genius in? Because I was thinking about that guy who's the Scrabble world champion. That guy doesn't. I don't know what his home language is. I think he's a Kiwi. He's from New Zealand, so English. But I believe he won the Scrabble World Championship in English, French, and Spanish, languages he doesn't know. He doesn't
just by memorizing the dictionaries.
He got their dictionaries and he read them and he memorized the words but not the meanings. And then he proceeded to beat all of the natural.
Are you talking about David Eldar?
Whoever. I mean,
dude, David Eldar is a famous poker player who also plays Scrabble, and he's from that part of the world.
Yeah, David Elder.
Yeah, his name was Deldar in the poker streets, and he played like the highest stakes poker games in the world.
I'm thinking of Nigel Richards, a New Zealand Scrabble player who's widely considered the greatest of all time. He's known for his ability to win Scrabble championships in multiple languages, English, French, and Spanish, even though he doesn't speak those languages.
Another guy like that, not to derail the topic, because I do want to hear Doug's opinion on geniuses, but Pete Buttigieg, he learned Norwegian because he had an upcoming vacation. He's read some of his favorite books are in Norwegian. And I was like, really? A reporter asked him about it. He's like, yeah, that part's actually true. So she had him say shit in Norwegian on the spot, and he could do it all.
If I was going on like a vacation to Norway, what I would do is just like look it up on a map and be like, oh, it's over there.
but I'm ready. What makes a genius? Because like my definition was far easier to be a genius in than Kyle's. Kyle's, I think he might have stuck to the real one, which is 140 IQ. And I was like, like LeBron is a basketball genius. I've heard that guys describe plays that had happened with like play-by-play memory that I could never do. I see a guy who plays guitar. There's one dude who's like neck tattoos. He's Asian. Maybe some other people have seen him too. He is incredible. And I'm like, that's a kind of genius. I even extend it to certain people who just handle like people and like emotions really well. I'm like, that guy's EQ is so high. He gets on Woody's little version of the genius list, which is easier to get onto than some others. Can someone be so good at poker they're a genius, or do they have to have the 140 IQ? Like, what's a genius to you?
So poker is a really interesting game because there are lots of really smart people that play poker and are terrible because the skill set for poker requires things like, emotional control, discipline, being realistic about your abilities and shortcomings and strengths. So you have like these doctors and lawyers in poker games, like they're like the worst players, and you're just like, clearly these are smart people, right? Mm-hmm. So the skill set can be kind of different. I mean, I guess like when I think of a genius, I more just view it as someone that's in just the most extreme upper echelon of that given topic, right? So like, I don't know if it's like the top like 0.1% or 0.01%, but I just view it as like on a subject, do you have like a control, like a knowledge base, or maybe not knowledge per se, but like, do you understand it better than like 99.99% of people, like within a field? Like you're saying, like LeBron, right? So like he's clearly a basketball genius. Now he's not a traditional genius, probably safe to say, probably. So I guess like within a subset, I would say that. But then like the traditional word for the traditional bar for genius, 140 IQ. Like IQ is like not always great, it has like some flaws in the algorithm, especially as like you get older. So I guess I would just say that if you're in like the top very small percentage of people, I view that as a genius.
At that topic, that's closer to my definition, I would think.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I like the excelling.
because that's something that you can train to do. That's something that like you can take an average schmo and force him, like the Romans used to. You're like, you're a cobbler now, but please, sir, no. Kill his wife. Oh no, she's dead now. You're a cobbler now. Bring the boy forth. And he just trains the rest of his life to be a fucking cobbler as hard as he can because they're gonna take his children's hands. Like that guy's not a shoe genius. That guy just worked hard and got good at a thing. Like a shoe genius is the kid who's like one of those African kids that make shoes out of old tires and fucking 6-pack holders, and you're like, holy shit, you made a shoe on your own. Your people don't even have the wheel. That's incredible.
I don't think what he means though that it's because like LeBron can dunk, he's a genius. I think he's saying like the way that LeBron understands what's happening
and processes the game.
And I don't know if that's actually something, because like there are lots of basketball players that are very athletic and have these, but then like they just can never make it because they're too dumb at basketball. They don't understand where's the defense, where do I need to be, like, whereas LeBron is just brilliant with that. So I don't know if that's something that can really be learned that well.
You're selling me on that. Because it's a skill I have even a shred of with basketball in particular. But I got to imagine that it's just a learned skill. It's the thing he loves the most, and it's the thing he does every day. And he's paid $1 billion to do it, and we're surprised he's good at it.
If LeBron
it's got to be in his genes.
The NBA is impressed with his ability to recall and see a game unfold. And those people are all paid to do it too. Yeah, LeBron's something special. He's like a current Gretzky, right?
I need
like
Stephen A. Smith.
Well, he's not Gretzky. There's a debate about whether he's better than Jordan. But if LeBron James were 5'8", no one knows his name. He's not famous. He's probably
just because there's another good player in basketball history, it means he's not as good as the only good hockey player to ever bother to play that silly game.
You like hockey. I know. No, I just took umbrage with, Gretzky's in his own league. You gotta put some respect on Gretzky.
You just saw him in that MAGA hat.
The great one.
Like this truly is the great one.
No, he's the great one because he has more points, more assists than anyone else has points.
Man, he fucked up with that MAGA hat. They don't. The Canadians love their sovereignty more than their hockey.
That's a mistake. They're better at hockey.
That's true. Now that is 100% true. If Canada was going to defend its sovereignty, they'd be better off having a hockey tournament than a war.
Oh, if there was like some obscure, that would be a great movie. There's like some obscure thing where Trudeau or maybe even the king, because maybe he still has sovereignty. He's like, all right, if you want it, play for it. And then they have to play a game.
America's so sure they could win a war. When's the last time they did it? Did they beat Russia and Ukraine? Did they beat Afghanistan? Did they beat Vietnam? When's the last time America really won a war?
Probably World War II.
You got to decide what you mean by one, though.